Let's do that again. Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. And on this random, kind of not usually Mr. Z's wheelhouse discussion, we will be speaking about Dranos versus the Rapvengers. um, so I heard all three disses. I've listened to them multiple times. Um, I think this is a good way of, you know, reclaiming, talking about reclaiming my time, reclaiming hip hop. Shout out to the men, right? Shout out to the men. Shout out to black men. Um, so hopefully they keep it on wax. Um, we will see, right? So the beef that has been brewing for a decade at least, give or take, between Drake and Kendrick has finally manifested into them actually going at each other overtly. Um, and yeah, so people are picking sides. Um, I'm not. It's exciting, but it kind of mid at the same time. I do agree with Drake that people are hyping up Kendrick because they want Drake out of here. And I don't see what the problem with that is, to be frank with you. And the problem is what, right? Um, I do agree with Most Def that Drake makes music for shopping with an edge. Um, I'm not going to take away his black card, although his upbringing as a mixed black man of small hat descent um, from Canada. Yeah, right. We already know that Drake was an actor. Um, like I was saying earlier in the previous stream, I do not think Rick Ross would have called J. Cole all type of white boys multiple times. Um, I think you saw this with the Meek Mills and Drake beef. I think, yes, rappers were quiet about it, but I do think that people want Drake out of here. I don't think it's just because he's mixed or light skinned. I don't think it's just because of his music. I don't think it's just because he's been, on the charts for over a decade. I don't think it's because of any of that. I think it's because of all of it. Right? Right? I think it's because of all of it. Saint Cyr said he will forever be wheelchair Jimmy to me. I don't care. I don't care. Hysterical. Right? So yeah, no, I think it's for all of the reasons. I think though there are rappers chomping on the bit to get Drake out of here. Um, you know, I think there was a opportunity missed by Kendrick for doing exactly what Pusha T did, which is take the money off the table and the album sales off the table from the jump and make it all about lyricism and who got the best punchlines and who got the best bars and who's gonna bring dirt to the table and be like, yeah, your fans ain't know about this, now did they? I think that was a missed opportunity by Kendrick because, of course, what did Drake say? He brought up the numbers, and that wasn't only directed towards Kendrick; it was directed towards Kendrick and Metro and Future and a number of other artists. Um, I can see how Drake um can feel right now if this is all real and not manufactured, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Y'all know how this goes. But yeah, so yeah, no, I definitely can see how Drake can feel like, yo, I brought money to these people plate. I made them, you know, money. I put them on, right? And maybe not put them on, but I definitely brought them to a global audience because of my name. I do see Drake as um more appealing to women. I don't think that's a fault within itself. And I think other rappers understand that. I'm going to link, and I didn't do it already. I'm gonna link Lovely T's breakdown of this. I think she did a good lyrical breakdown. Here's the problem: Lovely T brought her dark skinned black girl BS to this, so of course she made this a colorist issue. Of course she had an issue, or maybe not so much of an issue, but it was, and it speaks to something. Let me pause right there. Obsidian said a couple weeks ago that he's staying in contact with one of his female subscribers, black women subscribers, and she spoke to him about how there are black women that still feel a way about Kevin Samuels, and they're still jabbing at black men with Kevin Samuels in the back of their mind, right? And this was Obsidian speaking about the Michael B. Jordan, who Michael B. Jordan should date, and it was nothing but single mothers, right? It was Tia Mowry, Jodie Turner Smith, and Lala Anthony. And Obsidian was having this conversation with his black um women subscribers or followers, and she was informing him like this might be one of those situations where black women still feel a certain way about Kevin Samuel, so they're jabbing at black men collectively with taking who we see as like right now one of the faces of black success. He doesn't have any scandals, he's a pretty good guy from what we know, etc., etc., and he's Michael B. Jordan doing his thing right now. And so by reducing him to saying he should be with nothing but a single black mother. And that is not necessarily, I'm picking my words wisely here, y'all. Train tracks, train tracks, train tracks. That's not necessarily a jab at the black women that were referenced here. I said what I said for a reason. But it is to go at black men using Michael B. Jordan as a proxy, right? Okay. When you consider that, think about what I'm saying about what Lovely T said about the Drake and Rick Ross thing. And she brought up the NBA, and she calls it the National Biracial Association or something like that. And yes, black women will find a way to inject colorism into the conversation. And she brought that up because Rick Ross was calling Drake white boy, right? And she's like, well, if Drake's a white boy, then so is. And then she went off a list of light skin and mixed, well, I think really mixed black women who apparently black rappers call black. And I don't think Lovely T understands the difference between what black men have going on over here, including light skin and mixed black men, and what black women got going on over there, right? It doesn't work the same. Number one. Number two, we know Drake feels insecure about his mixed background. That's why Pusha T mentioned your hair don't nap enough. It just doesn't work the same way. I know black women that you're trying to inject what y'all got going on over there, and black women landia over here and black man landia. I know you think it's a one-to-one. It's not a one-to-one. So just because you can't call the light skin or mixed black woman white girl and it mean anything doesn't mean that the black rapper, the darker skinned black rapper calling Drake white boy doesn't mean anything. It's not the same. I'm sorry. I know y'all want it to be the same thing. It's not the same thing. I know, Lovely T. It's not fair. It's not fair. Yes, you're right. It's not. And right? Because black women are chomping on the bit. They want black men to feel exactly what they feel of colorism. Meanwhile, Godfrey told you it wasn't just black girl boys making fun of him about his darker skin tone when he was a younger person, when he was younger. Huh? Black women want dark-skinned black men to feel that because dark-skinned black men oftentimes end up with light-skinned black women or non-black women. And so black women are like, we got to make them feel the pain. We want them to feel the pain. Oh, boy. I'm sorry, Lovely T. It's just not the same. I know black women want to make it the same. It's not the same. And it probably will never be the same. Right? So there's that. Continuing. So, this Drake and Kendrick beef, I think is very interesting. I want to see if this goes the way of Pusha T and Drake, or if it goes the way of Meek Mills and Drake, or if it's going to be some type of hybrid or mixture of the two, or if it's just going to be something completely different. That's very possible also, right? But yeah, this should be interesting, right? This should definitely be interesting. So yeah, I think this is needed in hip hop. Um, all three disses were okay. Um, I do like Kendrick's diss the most. Ross the second. Drake meh. Now it's interesting because Lovely T says she spoke to her sons about it, and she spoke to other men about it, and men are like meh, it was mid. But all of her homegirls were like, yeah, they loving it, and I'm like, yeah, because Drake didn't say anything, right? Like, I have my whole entire critique about where Drake fits in the rap pantheon of things. As a light skinned mixed biracial black man who's doing numbers. Um, Notice something. People don't go at about being light skinned per se. We have a number of light skinned black rappers, and we've been having light skinned black rappers since forever. But people don't necessarily go at them for their skin tone. That's not the case for Drake, though. And you have to ask yourself why, right? And you have to ask yourself, what is it about Drake where people are poking at his skin tone and his hair texture and his background? What is it, right? Now, I do think that there's a large swath of men. I will say the majority of Drake's backers in this beef are probably women. And I'm not gonna say it's no brothers from the hood in there. That's a lie. That would be a lie. But it would be majority women and suburban kids, white, black, Latino, Asian, and otherwise. And for Kendrick, the pro black crowd and black men, right? And I think that's just the way the cookie crumbles on that one, right? I do think Drake is right. They people are trying to get him out of here, but I don't think it's just because he's doing album sales. I don't think it's just because he's a vacuum of money when it comes to hip hop, and you know, I don't think it's just for the ghostwriters. I don't think it's just because of his mass appeal. I don't think it's because of any of that. And if Drake is saying, "Yo, I essentially made many of you have your first number one songs," I would say, yeah, and you use those same rappers for street cred. They used you for the number one song on the charts, and you use them for the street cred, right? And I do think Drake feels a certain way about not being fully accepted in the hip hop community, even though he's doing numbers, and he's been doing numbers. We have to give Drake that. Drake comes out with anthems and mottos. Now, over the past few years, is that the case? Not so much. But Drake has been coming up with anthems for a decade, at least. Right? So you have to give the man his props on that. Now, I said this when Meek Mills and Drake were beefing, when that was 2015-ish, something like that. I knew then that what Meek Mill said about Drake and ghostwriting, was it 2015 or 2016, right? I knew then that that would have a staying power. That was that was a ticking time bomb. It didn't do the damage that many hip hop heads, real hardcore hip hop heads, thought it should do initially. And I called it, and I said that to multiple, personal friends, that this is gonna be something. This is gonna hurt Drake in the long run. And people have made mention of it over and over again, right? People have made mention of it over and over again because it means something, right? Now, Rick Ross saying that he he has more money than Drake. You know, Lovely T pushed back on that. She was like, no, but he's selling albums. Yeah, but is his money diversified? This is something to think about. Ross has money in multiple ventures. Is Drake money diversified? So he could be selling albums, or he could be selling singles, and he could be making his money that way. But is he? Right now, Drake did take jabs at Kendrick with the, you know, drop down and give me 50, and essentially saying that Kendrick, you know, when he was signed to TDE, you know, TDE got like some type of military drill thing going on with Kendrick and whatnot. Yeah, I hear you. Eh, right? Like, I hear you, Drake, but let's not forget that Ludacris did say you Santa Negro, that Santa Negro, that Santa Negro. Ludacris did say that, and he was accurate at the time, right? So, you know, going at Kendrick for, you know, being signed to TDE when he was, right? So, yeah, I mean, I think Drake featuring a lot of artists, or being featured on a lot of artists music, and pretty much giving them their first number ones, I think that was, you know. Yeah, you got to go into detail about this one. I'm Waffles, and I'm Waffles says, I'm afraid of what happens if they succeed in retiring Drake. The minstrel showed that his hip hop might get even worse with new tap dancing entertainers. Go into that. Go into that. Right? Yeah, go into that. And Vegas says, I don't listen to Drake, but there's really no way of getting him out of here. He's got a dedicated fan base that will listen to him no matter what, especially women. I agree with that. I agree with that. Right? I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. And he said it. He said it on one of his mixtapes back in the day. It was like, it's one of my favorite Drake songs. He said it like, "Yo, I make songs for women and men that get women." Right? Like I've said that, you know, like I had a couple of Drake songs on my first date playlist, but Drake is who you have in the car when you picking up the ladies, particularly for like millennial college educated black women. Like, and I made a reference to this earlier on one of the Issa Rae episodes of Insecure. She made mention of that like Drake speaks to her. Yeah, you know, huh? And Southern Purchases, my sister and her friends like it as well. It was because Drake was basically bragging about being needed like they do us. Yeah. And I think this is gonna be a gender conflict once again, right? Gender conflict. I think this is gonna be a class thing. I think I saw a lot of class class talk when it came to the Meek Mill's Drake beef. I think I saw a division in class that didn't go acknowledged very much between Meek Mills and Drake. Now, let's be very clear. Drake gave Meek Mills that work, but it wasn't the diss song that really did Meek Mills in. It was everybody's reception and how long Meek Mills took to respond, and the fact that it was mid, right? And um how many people were invested in Drake having the better diss song. But I do think Drake's diss song was better, right? So yeah, no, I think this beef is gonna be interesting, right? Smitty says Drake has no smoke for Pusha T. He doesn't. He doesn't. Right? Exactly. You just got body by singing Negro. Yeah, yeah, yeah. He did say that. Right? Tampa Bong says, "Feel the pain is Naruto." Yeah, yeah. Pain from Naruto. He says, "Nah, Drake only won to the females and Negroes who's not street." Yeah, and that's a lot of people though. That's a lot of people. We have to be honest about how many people have a vested interest. And I call it the Eminem effect 2.0. It's the Eminem effect 2.0. I meant what I said on the Rodri Porch channel a little while ago when I said Drake is easily digestible. Drake is the Olive Garden of hip hop. I don't see nothing necessarily wrong with that, by the way. I don't necessarily mean that as an insult, although I could literally just say the exact same words just in a different way and make it an insult, but I don't necessarily mean it as an insult. I think he has his lane. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But he is the Olive Garden of hip hop, right? And I think he has an audience that rides with him because of that. He makes anthems. At least he used to make anthems. People rock with him because he's catchy. He's racially ambiguous, light skin. Drake could be Latino. Drake could pass for certain Arabs, right? Drake's mixed black and white, and Small had white on top of that. And Smitty says Eminem was more raunchy than Drake. He is. What I'm speaking about is not only the crossover effect, but also the fact that Drake is that one person that non people that don't listen to hip hop could listen to. You see what I'm saying? Just like there were plenty of white folks that didn't listen to rap music, but they liked Eminem, right? That's what I'm saying. Ismail brings up what most Def said, right? It's likable, likable. Yeah, it's just it's all right. And y'all gives you a second. Y'all talk amongst yourselves. And it's crazy that Leon knows exactly what I'm saying. And Leon says Drake can be played at a 13-year-old's birthday party while Kevin Hart tells jokes. I think Kevin Hart is the Olive Garden of black comedy also. Leon, you get what I'm saying? You get exactly what I'm saying. And by the way, I'm not taking away from them with that. I think we need those type of people, those people that are they're black, right? They make music that we can identify as a particular genre, or they make comedy that's a particular blackish black genre, but they're not as offensive either aesthetically or sonically as what I was gonna say as um lost my damn train of thought. Sorry, y'all. They're not as offensive as your average black man, especially in the hip hop industry. So let's look at who Drake has recently beefed with, right? Not the ludicrous beef or any of that. Um, Meek Mills, dark skinned black man out of Philly. Pusha T, dark skinned black man out of what? Virginia. Um, Kendrick Lamar, dark skinned black man out of the West Coast, short dark skinned black man on top of that. Rick Ross, fat black man out of Dade County, Miami. Like, you see what I'm saying? So where the situation that Drake finds himself in, and it's going back to Lovely T actually. Lovely T kept on speaking about this colorism, and I'm like, do you not understand like how much you're contradicting yourself? Why y'all think y'all like Drake so much? You think it's just his music? By the way, shout out to his team. Your team is Drake's team is his team needs to get awards. Drake's team is award winning. Okay? The marketing of Drake over the past decade and some odd, oh my God. Drake and his team need an award. Just like they gave Obama an award for his advertising, Drake and his team needs an award. Right? His marketing, his to women and to suburban kids, Jesus. I wish Mos Def would have stood on what he said because he was 100% accurate. And that's still kind of not no slight to Drake. Not for me, at least. You know? So what if you make music that is more digestible to the masses? Make hip hop that's more digestible to the masses. And because of your kind of sort of racial ambiguity, Z, could you get it out? You're more aesthetically pleasing to non-black folks. So your music isn't full on out the hood, out the gutter, although you feature many of those people. You're aesthetically pleasing to non-black folks and to black women, to the women. And by the way, nothing wrong with that. That's a plus, right? And you make music that speak to them. You could even see it in Drake's response before the diss, his diss response. Drake's response when he was on stage, it sounded like one of those motivational speeches. For those of you that didn't see the clip of Drake on stage after the diss came out, and it was like one of these weirdo like motivational. I'm like, what the hell? And I asked my lady this earlier. I was like, yo, babe, has Drake ever done or said anything offensive to white folks? Like anything controversial, anything that could potentially get him canceled? Has he ever said anything super pro-black? Has he ever did anything like, bro? And like, I credit his team for that, but I also say because like that's just not the lane he occupies, I think. And y'all gives you 1 second because I'm gonna Borg. Give me a second. And we're back. Yeah, but oh, and someone says, "Why would he?" Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Where's the damn comment? I just saw the comment that I wanted to respond to. Someone saying, "Why would he?" And once again, Tampa Bong, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Where the hell did that comment go? Oh, there it go. D said, "Why would he?" Which is a really good question. I think I think black notable people have a responsibility to black people. I don't think I should tell you that though. If you get what I'm saying. So I'm not going to where other black people, namely pro-black people and definitely black women, go where they think they can regulate other black people in their finances and who they date and who they marry. And no, I do think that black people have a responsibility to other black people. I just don't think I should tell you. Right. And Ishmael, a good point. And Ishmael says, um, to that point, he hasn't said anything overly pro small hat either. Coincidence? I think not. So much so he has been criticized for it. Exactly. On both sides. I know. Right. Huh. And Vegas gets what I'm saying here. And Vegas says Drake would feel better if he just accepts that real hip hop heads will never really respect him like that, and it's okay. And I think that nags at him. I'm not going to use the word think with this one. I'm going to use the word feel. I feel like Drake has always had an issue with this, and I don't think any amount of album sales or platinum records can make up for that. Right? I'm saying that towards about him. I'm saying for him, at least from the outside looking in, for a person who's been listening to Drake since before he actually put out a mainstream album, I think that messes with him, right? Because at some point it becomes more than just the money, right? So yeah, I agree with that. And I've heard this. And Smitty says Drake loves backpack real hip hop heads. His favorite group was Little Brother. Yeah, I've heard this before. Ghost Illmatic, stop. Ghost Illmatic says Drake has to wear hairpins and paint his nails to stay relevant. Hysterical. That was funny, right? Yeah, and yeah, and I'm awful says Z. What exactly was Lovely T trying to compare with this beef versus colorism? Um, so I'm gonna link it into the description box in a little bit, but she was attempting to tie this in by referencing Rick Ross continuously calling Drake a white boy and saying, why you call him a white boy? In that case, then um and calling him a white boy is a pejorative. In that case, Sweetie and even though we know her mix is a little different, but Sweetie is a white girl, and what's the other one out of what is her name is right there. What is the other one's name? Light skin rapper chick mix. Not Doja Cat. She's a bit thickums. What is her name? I think she's out of the West Coast too. What is her name? I forgot her name. But yeah, and she mentions a bunch of Lotto. Thank you, Saint Cyr. You already know. Yeah, Lotto. Yeah. Thank you. Exactly. Lotto. Exactly. Lotto. Yeah, so she mentions Lotto. And she says, well, in that case, they're white girls too. And it's really this black. And I said this not even Christmas time. I said this last Christmas Black women really want this to be a one-to-one. You see how it feel? They really want black men to see, like I said, they want black men to feel the pain, right? They really want to turn this into like this one-to-one. Don't you? Yeah, yeah, yeah. The light skin is replacing you, and don't you feel a certain way about that? And she actually kind of says that, right? Lovely T actually kind of says that, right? And Southern Purchases, once again, my sister and her friends like it as well. It was beyond. It was because why did I want to say Beyonce? It was because Drake was basically bragging about being needed, like they do us. Exactly, exactly. And once again, thank you for the super chat, Southern Purchase. And Southern Purchase also says, plus Drake has more favor internationally than every other rapper. True, he will be good. But to us real fans, the only light skins going out bad, Edward Anderson, the only left. Right? Yeah, let me see. No, Ludacris didn't go out bad. T.I. hasn't gone out bad. Um, who else? What other lighter skin rapper? Light skin black rapper that or black I mean if we expand it to just light skin entertainer, black male entertainers, then it gets, But no, there's a couple of but yeah. J. Cole, he bowed out of the disc, but other than that, Vegas says it's Luda light skin though. I'll put Ludacris in the light skin category, right? Exactly, and she used to call herself mulatto instead of just lotto. Exactly, and D says a mulatto. Exactly. At least she's honest. Yeah, yeah, right. Jake says Luda is not light skin. Y'all don't consider Ludacris light skin? See, when we start getting into a light skin conversation, I always feel like the bar moves. Or like we need to come up with like a designated light skinned person that if you're darker than this, then you're not light skinned. And if you're lighter than this, or if you're the same shade, then you're light skinned. It's a whole man. The black conversation about skin tone is so taxing, right? Leon says nosy. Ti and Ludacris are not light skinned. We are brown brothers. Have to pick a side. Oh man, right? You said prostitution promotion agents? Oh man, not pros promotion agents. Hysterical. Women different, laughing my butt off. Most of the women rappers are prostitution promotion agents. Oh, this is getting demonetized, right? Earth said paperback test. It would probably be a human test, but yeah, paperback test, but like based off an actual person, right? Yeah, and by the way, look, this back and forth, this beef, I think is needed. Like I said, I I think Kendrick's this was the best. I think from the beat selection to the aggression to the delivery, I put Kendrick first. Um, I like the beat selection of Ross. It was pretty basic, but it was once again Ross and the luxury beats. Right. Um, I think Drake actually said some things here, but Ross with the not the Drake BBL hysterical. Oh, and apparently Ross responded back within 4 hours. So that part. Um, but you have to give Drake his due. Drake did put a lot of these rappers on, and he said it, and he pretty much like, yeah, yeah, y'all could kick rocks, right? Ishmael says, this sounds like a Dade County bias here. Z, it is a bit. It is. I'm not gonna lie and say it's not. Better you, sis Kendrick, just sound like that. Cause he an angry short dude. And Drake made mention of Kendrick's size multiple times. And Kendrick's shoe size. Yeah, right. Ashmat said Ross was off to me a lot of low calorie bars. Oh, that was funny. That was funny. That was funny. Oh man, y'all gotta leave my fellow Dade County brother alone. That was funny. Man. Good point, Jake. And Jake says short jokes are corny and show me you have no real ammo. But what I mean, if Drake doesn't bring up the numbers, what does he really have on Kendrick? Is he gonna out rap Kendrick? Let's be honest. Stop. If he don't bring up the album sales, what does he have on Kendrick? I do think Kendrick is more experimental than Drake is, but Drake does. Let's be honest. Drake has featured on like Canadian rappers, songs, grime artists from Britain, dancehall artists. Now let's be honest. Usually he's foraging for food. Let's be honest. He's looking on the next trend to jump on. But he will feature you, and he will be a feature on your joint. So I gotta give him that. I gotta be honest about that. I gotta be honest about that. And Jake says Drake has 6-pack ab implants, so who's really insecure? And Rick Ross did make mention of that. Oh man. Better You says go listen to Section 80. Kendrick has said Drake makes him insecure. Huh. Yeah, Drake is a crossover product. True. Right. Southern Purchase said Edward Anderson is the only one left. I'll give it. Ed do be going hard for the light skinned brothers. Ed does represent well for the light skinned brothers. He does. Right. And for the shorter brothers, Ed represents well. Right. Man. Detroit says sorry, Break ain't touching the goats. He didn't even call him Drake. He said a break. Right. Vegas says the Ross diss was he ain't very good when it comes to disses. True. Right. I mean, Mafia Music and Mafia Music 2 is definitely a 50 diss, and Mafia Music 1, I kind of. And those did well, right? But I'll give you, I'll agree with you on that. Disses aren't really his strong suit. Jake is really going on Drake, and Jake says Drake got a new accent every 2-3 years. What's the next Scottish accent? Hysterical, maybe. Right. And Drake is just following in black women's footsteps. He changes flows like they change weave. But I don't need y'all to laugh. I ain't no damn comedian. Right. Man. I promise. So, this is going to be interesting. It's good that we're not talking about the ladies of hip hop, I'll say. I know y'all got an issue with that lady word. Not them. No, see, you're right. But we'll just say the ladies of hip hop. It's good that we're not speaking about them, and whatever they got going on over there. And yeah, this should be interesting, right? Exactly. And D exactly. And D said he steals, but he put cats on. Exactly. And let's be honest. And Lovely T said something that was very true. The Drake stimulus package. right? The Drake stimulus package. Hey, you know, we may not want to hear it, but let's be honest. The Drake stimulus package is a real thing, right? It's a real thing, right? So look that this beef is gonna be good. Let's see who throws the next punch. Apparently, some of those jabs were towards ASAP Rocky. Um, yeah, some of those jabs were at a couple of people, right? Huh? Oh damn! Riding in a fucking row. And Ishmael says, what happened to Block Boy JB in that case?" One of my younger cousins used to know how to do that dance too, right? Man. And better use says Drake don't gotta out rap Kendrick. He easily outsongs him. He makes songs that's catchy, true, deliver truth, and hit hard. Yeah, some of them go hard in the club, especially if you're drunk. Back to back hurt because it was a banger and it was playing everywhere. See, it was playing. I really don't mean this as a Drake diss. I really mean this from the bottom of Z's Z heart. I did not see back to back as a banger. Back to back was so extra mid to me. I much rather listen to this diss than back to back was. I tried, y'all. I tried. I was like, yo, like, you know, listen. You're gonna like it, Z. You're gonna like it. I did. Back to back was meh to me. To me, right? And there's a bunch of I want to say Kendrick Drake projects that I mess with before and after back to back, but back to back just wasn't it for me, right? It just wasn't, right? And I definitely, like I said, I saw the class divide, I saw education divide, I saw a gender divide, and I think a lot of rappers wanted Meek Mills to get Drake up out of here. A lot, and secretly, I think a lot of people would want Drake to get up the hell up out of here for a while. I just don't think they had the wherewithal, and I think Drake is such a cash cow for hip hop, right? So yeah, Jake says yawn voice. For real, it really was yawn. It was yawn, right? That lemon pepper freestyle is dope, right? And secretly, I don't know why. Look, put y'all tinfoil hat on with Z real quick. I think Fabulous wants Drake out of here. I don't know why I feel like Fabulous, they could be best of friends for all I know, but for some reason, I feel like Fabulous wants Drake the hell up out of here. I don't know why I feel that way. Notice I didn't say think, I said feel, because it ain't best on nothing, right? This is actually a good phrase, and Ishmael says he is a corporate incubator, right? I think he occupies a lane in hip hop that, hey, that's okay. Drake, like I said on the Rush Report, is easily digestible hip hop. He is to hip hop what I see Kevin Hart being to black comedy. And I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. Period. I don't think there's anything necessarily wrong with that. But I think when people that didn't it's hard to explain that to certain suburban cousins and to certain non-black folks. It's difficult to explain that to them, excuse me. But once again, when people like Drake go into battle with the Pusha T, well, you get your head ripped off, right? And Vegas says Fab is underrated. His punchlines went crazy back in the day. They still do. I like Pound Cake. I do like that song. I like Drake's. Pound Cake song, and I like what the Locks did with that song too. The Locks did that was fire. No, no, I agree with this. And Ishmael says, no, Fab is slightly better lyricist. Sorry, NYC bias. No, I agree with this. I like Fab. Yeah, no, I like Fab. Right? Huh. Mike Rizzy, this is something to think about. And Mike Rizzy says, Drake Kendrick Ross beef seems like label manipulation. Possibly, because it's been. Is it just because look? I done lost my hip hop card a little while ago, right? I am a 37-year-old black man. Like, this is gone. And I don't have kids yet, so yeah, yeah. I I am a Larry June currency listening to brother. I yeah, and I listen to new stuff when it's presented to me by my friends because they got kids, right? So yeah, yeah. So um like a yeah. And where I just saw a comment I wanted to respond to. I agree. I agree. And Jake says Fab has way better lyrics than Drake. It's not even a competition. Not even close. And Lion says Joe Budden, a body Drake, but everyone want to play the popularity card. Yeah, well, that is the card that you're going to see played for the Drake stands. And I say Drake stands, not necessarily saying that because you are on the side of Drake with this, that you are necessarily a Drake stan. And even if you are a Drake stan, that may not necessarily be a negative. And Toya says, I'm saying Fab is more than slightly a better lyricist. I agree. Right. Yeah. But Leon, them Friday night freestyle, I still listen to the Friday night freestyles on a regular. Like it's in my drive playlist. He got a couple of joints. The joint on the Locks beat. The joint on what other beat? The well, pause on this on the. I can't even get it out. The joint on the Puffy beat. I'm not even gonna say the other name he goes by, but yeah, there's a couple of yeah, no, yeah. I have multiple fabulous songs on my playlist that I listen to randomly driving. Yeah, Fab is nice. Yeah, that Friday night freestyle. Yeah, and his um what is the name of that I can't remember the name, but yeah. Summertime Shootout series. Yes. Yeah. 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 Rest in peace. Well, Big Pun was the lyricist, though, wasn't he? And Detroit says Big Pun would have B slapped Nicki Minaj and the whole Cash Money records. Big Pun was the lyricist. Listen to him on with the Noriega joint, right? I like him and him and Cameron. To me, had the best verses on that what Banned from TV, right? Right. Pun could rap. He really could. He really could. Right. Detroit says Pun and Black Thought. Black Thought's another one. Right. But the problem with Black Thought is that Black Thought isn't he ain't rapping about BS, so we ain't trying to listen. Black Thought, I need you to get dirtier with it. right? 3 stacks, that's not fair, right? Man, Big L, rest in peace, right? And better use is I just picked up Capital Punishment on vinyl today. The Dream Shatter is one of my favorite tracks. Just straight bars. Big L underrated too. For you young cats, what was it? What freestyle was it with a young Jay-Z and Big L? And you could clearly see who was the better rapper on that one, but that was a young Jay-Z though, right? Man, Jake says rest in peace, Rico Wade. Side Reel says Black Thought verse on Crown Four Kings is wicked. Yeah. Detroit says Rush the 5'9" is like Deadshot of rap. Rush the 5'9" to me is like it's messed up on Mercedes. He's forever in Eminem shadow, right? And is that just me? Or is that like, and I don't know how much play he gets outside of the Midwest. I'm not saying he gets no play outside of the Midwest. I'm saying I don't know how much play he gets outside of the Midwest. Right? Right? Huh. Azrael Azrael went right to it. He said Drake a cornball culture vulture. He don't represent hip hop. I understand the sentiment, but it's hard for me to say he's not hip hop. I think he occupies a certain lane of hip hop that you may or may not appreciate. But I can't say that Drake isn't hip hop. I think like I said, he's easily digestible. I think most Def described him accurately, right? And it's crazy because I said that on the Roger Reports channel, and like, was it even a week later when most Def said this like similar? It might have been like 2 days later, right? 8 Ball MJG, 8 Ball MJG, right? Man, Tech Nine is another one that doesn't. Tech Nine is another one I think gets mentioned, but he doesn't get the notoriety, right? And Leon says, "Bro, Tech Nine, end of story." Right? Man, D, this is true. Outcast, UGK, 8 Ball, and MJG, the South. You could add 3 6 in there. You could add Project Pat in there. There's yeah, yeah, man. Why you sound like a young hater, Leon? And Leon says, "Y'all be like these old ass Negroes that only old ass Negroes know." Come on, I keep a lady around and I call Cap, right? And I'm gonna love to see because I think Lovely T was onto something, but she didn't want to go all the way there with it. I would love to ask her why she thinks men are supporting, at least from her perception, which I think she might be accurate on, why she thinks men seem to be supporting Kendrick and Ross in there more, and why she thinks the women are supporting Drake more. Right? Because I felt like I knew that's how the cookie was gonna crumble. Right? And Detroit says cannabis killed LL Cool J, but we got to talk. Here we go with the numbers, and that happened, and LL pretty much shook that off and kept on rapping and kept on making platinum plats, right? Yeah. Dasper Ellen says, and Royce the 5'9" is not an Eminem shadow at all, right? Azrael says, he's a pop, referring to Drake. He's a pop artist that raps. He makes pop songs that women like. Definitely true. And can feel like they listen to rap. Women's definition of rap is Kiki. Do you love me? Oh, and hold on, we're going home. That's kid. That's children and women, right? I agree with that. I agree with that. Yeah, I agree with that. Aside real since Drake got pissed on would not be respected by men in general. Um, yeah, yeah. Let me say this to that. True, and he got slapped. Yes, for those of you that know, yeah, Diddy. Talk about Diddy, huh? Yeah. Oh wow. And Diaspora says Royce got played when I was in Germany, and was compared to Jay Z, with no mention of M back in 2002. I wanted to say 2022 so bad. That's why. 2002. I remember that time clearly. Okay. All right. Yeah. As I said, long live Kung Fu Kenny. Yeah. Let's see where this goes. Let's see where this goes. Um, yeah, I'm down for it. I'm down for it. Right. They keep it on wax. Let's see if Drake responds to Ross. I doubt it. I think he's gonna throw jabs back at Ross when he makes his next diss to Kendrick. If Kendrick disses him back, and let's see where this goes with that. I don't know if this just ends here. I hope not. Right, because it's fun and interesting and lively. Right. So yeah. Smitty said that's funny. Smitty said Drake got diddled across the face. Oh, that's funny. That's a great. Oh man, we got to go into this one. I might have to do a whole stream on that. And Leon says, "Women just support Drake. He is soft, toxic, emotional rapper. Soft, toxic. That's a whole stream. That's a whole stream that we could add on with benevolent patriarchy and emotional intelligence and all that other stuff that these women are using to like bring in patriarchy, but the softer, cuddly kind. Soft toxic is oh, that's a stream right there, Leon. I might do a whole stream on that. I'm gonna have to look up some videos and bring up some materials. That's a whole stream right there. Soft toxic. Let's read that again. Women just support Drake. He is soft. He is a soft, toxic, emotional rapper. Women really don't need Drake anymore. They have all these toxic female singer rappers. That's a good point. That other rappers might smell or might taste the blood in the water, and they're circling around Drake to get him out of here because the women don't need him like that anymore. Yeah, good point. Yeah, good point. I think you're right. Ishmael says to me, Royce is a stronger lyricist than M. Just my opinion. I think you're right. Devin the dude doesn't get his due. Right. The outsiders. That's debatable. I would agree, but that's debatable. Right. And D says Project Pat is better than everyone in the entire 3-6 Mafia. Right. And Leon, thank you for the super chat. Thank you for the super chat. Right. Man, no, this is good. This is good. Jake says, "Why are you with him when you could be cheating with me?" Ass music. Soft, man. Soft toxic is a whole stream. That's a great phrase, like Leon. That's a whole phrase right there. Soft toxic, and Drake does make that type of music. That's an accurate description of the type of music Drake makes that women vibe to, right? It's that boyfriend that likes, like, he does the fake jealous thing, right? He's really actually not jealous of you, of catching you looking at another dude for a second or two or whatever the hell, but he pretends like he does, and like you're annoyed by that, but you're not, and then y'all go home and have sex type thing. And I think women like that. They like it, right? The I don't really feel a certain way about going to get you tampons or tampax or whatever the hell. I don't feel a certain way about you sending me to the store to do it, but I'm gonna pretend like I feel a certain way about it just so we could get into an argument. That type of joint, right? Loki, I think he's black pill as hell, and I think he said things to speak to that. Maybe red pill, maybe red pill. And Minister S says Drake is black pill rap god, right? Right, man, man. But yeah, good point. And Azrael says, I hate when people bring up numbers. Nas bodied Jay, even though Jay maybe sold more records. He definitely sold more records. And even if you're a fan of Jay, most people agree Nas one on social media. All you hear is Drake can do no wrong in my eyes. Yeah, the number, the numbers argument is coming, Azrael. You know the number, the as about Drake. I said Jake. Drake already brought up the numbers, brought up the album sales, but it's coming. You know it's on its way. It's on its way. I agree with this. And Vegas says Drake comes off as the type to stab you in the back for a woman. Can't be trusted. Drake comes off as the type that women mess with, and then they realize, oh, you are the square dude that all these other dudes think you are. Drake comes off as the type that Serena breaks up with. Right? That Drake comes up with Drake. I mean, like, let's think about it. Nicki Minaj chose Meek Mills over Drake. You see what I'm saying? Like, Drake comes off as the person where women, like, industry women, I'm talking about. Industry women are somewhat starstruck by until they meet him or they date him, and they're like, oh, I guess, right? Yeah. Good point. Yep, exactly. Rihanna chose Rocky over Drake. Yeah, because Drake come off seriously petty. He comes off petty. Good point. And Mr. S says, this is a good point. I almost forgot about this. I actually did forget about this. Good point. And Mr. S says, Drake challenged Kendrick's integrity when he mentioned his Maroon 5 and Taylor Swift collabs. When do conscious rappers make songs with those types? Yeah, and he was kind of saying, like, also with that, like, top TDE is like who caused him to do that, right? So yeah, no, I gotta agree with that. I gotta agree with that. Effeminate, maybe. Yeah, that you could maybe classify Drake as effeminate from where we could stand, right? Y'all not gonna do the Drake is the type. Lion, y'all not gonna do that. And Lion says Drake looked at the type to exfoliate his toes. Hysterical. That's funny, right? Common with that Drake also. Don't forget, right? And D says Common had tracks, right? Man. But on that note, everyone, we'll pause right here. We will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great, great, great rest of y'all night. I might be bringing up a panel, if not Monday or Friday. Let's see if anything happens between tomorrow and Friday. And we'll do a panel speaking about this and just a shoot the breeze panel. If not tomorrow, then Friday, right? Yes, and shout out to Pusha T, right? And Azrael says Drake literally did blackface and had a kid with a prawn star. Um, has painted nails and still his stands. Especially the women say everyone is a hater. Shaking my head. Yeah, yeah. Good point. And by the way, that lets you know how much Drake message matters more than his actions. Because the women were riding with Drake, and we kept on telling him. Z definitely told the women in my circle, but the women in my circle don't really rock with him like that anyway. My younger sister literally called me, and before she could even get a word out, I was like, "Yes, I already heard the Ross diss." And she wants Drake out of here, not because she messes with Ross like that, because she just wants my younger married sister, right? So there are women that as a matter of fact, how did I not bring this up too? Thank you for this, Ezreal, because your comment is what's triggering this. Serin, yes, the Serin that was on the Grapevine that has her own channel. Serin was rocking with Pusha T over Drake, and she even said Drake pretty much, if I remember correctly, Drake make music for college educated black women or for women that don't listen to hip hop and like suburban kids. If I recall, I might be injecting something that she did not say, but if I recall correctly, she did say Drake makes music for women that don't listen to hip hop. That much I think I remember her saying. The other stuff I might be injecting, but yeah, right? Yeah. So that lets you know the women that ride with Drake. Drake was the lover boy, um, right? Like it's almost like they want to put him in like the LL lane when it comes to certain, like, not Mama said knock you out LL. Hey lover LL, right? And so that was the lane that it seems like Drake was supposed to occupy. And then the situation with him and the Prawn Star and Pusha T and women still ride with him because first of all, integrity, they don't care about it, but it's the message, right? And Jake says you need a light-skinned Canadian Negro to get your girl going. Sus. That's funny. Yeah, you the best is definitely a pandering song. Definitely a pandering song. Vegas is raw dogging Prawn Stars is nasty work. Absolutely. Absolutely. Man, but let me get out of here, y'all. Let me see if the missus is definitely knocked out right now. She is gone. All right. So we will pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Um y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. And we'll keep our fingers to the wind and see where this goes. Um this is good for hip hop. Even if Drake, and I agree with everyone that says Drake ain't going nowhere. I doubt it. Drake got to take himself out. He got to take himself out. I don't think anybody could take him down from where he is right now. He has to. We would have to find out something super scandalous. Talking about that, he did say or insinuate something about Rick Ross. It's like he stopped himself on purpose. Like that was part of the diss. And I wonder what he was saying. Like, don't make me expose you in. And I'm like, oh. And Diddy popped into my mind. Uh-oh. So I wonder what Drake is holding back. So yeah. Huh. So Drake looked like he got some ammo also. Right? So yeah. On that note, y'all, like I said, we'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. This is a good little hip hop. Look, I need to have my hip hop discussions and yeah. Better you said Ross and the Diddler. Very interesting, hysterical, right? But yeah, so we'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content, other non-Manosphere content. Z out. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Oh crap! And Sidereal says Diddy is said in the leaked version. Uh oh. Let's see. Well, Ross responded after that, and he did not say anything to that. So, huh. All right, y'all. Y'all have a great rest of y'all night. Z out.